Hello everybody, this is software documentation powered with AI. Here you can document any type of documentation that you have. You can document one route, multiple routes, your database, your front end. For example, here I'm gonna document a database component. You can use whatever you want. A SQL thing, a model as I'm using it here, and then you hit send code to send your code to the backend and then receive your documentation. Here I'm receiving all the description of the table and I'm saving it into my documentation. Then I can go see all of my documentation, and here I show you an example of what it saves. After this, I can generate a real life example based on the data that was just saved and say on what purpose I want my example to be. For example, I want to query the first 5 items of the database. And after hitting generate example, the application gives me an example based on the purpose that I have, on why I want to use this component. For example, here's the query. Then I can go back to my documentation. For example, here's the routes documentation. You can also create examples of this one. Then here's the front end documentation. Here's a component. You can also create examples on this one. Then you can also share your documentation with others. It doesn't matter that they don't have a user. For example, here I go in another browser, and when I copy it, all my documentation appears and you can check everything as if it was the main user. This is great for sharing your documentation. You can see all of the routes. For example, this user sees everything that the main user has. So this is the way that you could share your documentation with your team and start building it as a group. So thank you guys. This was software documentation powered by AI.